Hungry Hollow Ravine runs through the heart of Georgetown, Ontario, and is comprised of over 300 acres of natural environment. It contains a number of provincially significant wetlands, species of interest, and even an endangered species. A 4.5-kilometer long trail network has been constructed through the ravine following the guidance of the Hungry Hollow Management Plan. Regan Ridge Bridge represents the connecting link between two formalized trail sections. These trails were divided by a substantial ravine, and it was a very treacherous, muddy slide down a slope and walking through a creek in order to get to the other side. The challenge was to find a way to build a barrier-free connection between the two trail sections while not impacting the beautiful surrounding environment and leaving users to wonder how it ever got there.
I'm a resident of the Town of Halton Hills and want to express my gratitude to the Town of Halton Hills for the work that they are doing in the trails, specifically around Hungry Hollow. The Regan Ridge Bridge has really enhanced our usage on the weekends, evenings and weekends, for just walking our dog and just enjoying the time. I remember the first time when the Regan Ridge Bridge was built and we went to visit the bridge, and I went with my teenage daughters, and they got a lot of enjoyment of how the bridge actually moves slightly as you're walking on it. So they enjoyed watching Mom be a little bit nervous about that, but it's just such a great, beautiful feature, and the work that the Town of Halton Hills is doing is greatly appreciated.
R&M Construction was thrilled to be able to be a part of this project. There's probably been 150 or so bridges that we've installed over the last 20, 25 years, and done it in a lot of different ways, but never in a place like this with such constraints for access as well as constraints for erecting the bridge. A large part of the success of the project, I think, is to be directed to the process. It allowed a lot of innovation to come out from each contractor to get the best and most efficiently installed project completed. They also did allow enough latitude for this to work, because sometimes the constraints just get to be too tight and innovativeness can't be used as much as it could be. And we really appreciate the way that came together and the way it followed through, so that we did get this built, and the product is now a bridge that people wonder, how did that ever occur and how did that get in there, which was the objective. It's got a little bit of bling for the town, and yet it's really functional, and it's been a win-win all around.
The Regan Ridge Bridge project is unique in its use of the request for proposal to procure and construct the bridge. This allowed for a collaborative design and construction approach between the Town of Halton Hills and the successful contractor R&M Construction, resulting in minimal environmental disturbance, reduced project costs, and hands-on community engagement. In a mere 3 days, working on frozen, snow-packed ground in -20-degree temperatures, the bridge was skillfully brought in through a narrow trail access between two houses, maneuvered along the existing trail, and then put in place. Vegetation was only removed when absolutely necessary, and throughout the entire construction, the utmost of care was taken for the environment. R&M Construction worked carefully, assembling the bridge on site in sections, cantilevered it out over the ravine onto a steel beam sliding surface, where it was then pulled up the other side. This protected the creek, the slope, and all its vegetation. When spring came, it was impossible to see any disturbance to the ravine, and the former trail access routes were closed off and restored. Regan Ridge Bridge sits 11 meters above the existing creek, offering spectacular views, and achieved the goal of connecting the two trail sections while protecting the environment and user experience.
With all of the construction completed, it was time for a celebration. The opening event for the bridge was created as a launch for June's Recreation and Parks Month, as well as our Trail Stewards program. It was held the weekend after the May long weekend and was well attended by about 60 people. The attendees varied in age, showing that the trails are appreciated by a broad spectrum of the community. We advertised the event with a full-page promo in the newspaper and through our social media forums. Throughout the event, staff, members of council, and the mayor live tweeted updates and photos of the celebration. We also had Walk It and Hike It t-shirts that were given out to the attendees, along with information about our trails and, of course, cake. The bridge is an asset to the trail system in our community, and residents were excited to see it completed and celebrate the opportunities it provides to all.
The Regan Ridge Bridge achieves excellence in design by representing the highest standard in trail development in environmentally sensitive areas. It does this through utilizing a community-designed management plan to guide development, partnering with an industry-leading construction company through a call for proposal, promoting the use of natural and non-intrusive materials in construction, and engaging volunteers through a trail steward program that highlights responsible trail use and environmental awareness. Thank you very much for your consideration.